Hello guys, today we are creating a rotoscope cut flashback transition in Premiere Pro. First, prepare the clip that you want to use as the base for your rotoscoping. Then, duplicate it. You can hold Option on a Mac and drag it upwards, or just use the classic Ctrl-C and Ctrl-V. I already have mine duplicated just so we don't waste time, but I'll walk you through the exact process. Once the clip is duplicated, right-click on it and choose Replace with After Effects Composition. This will automatically send you over to After Effects. Now that we're in After Effects, I already have my rotoscoping done, but here's what you're going to do. First, double-click on your layer to open it up by itself. Then select the Rotobrush tool and start rotoscoping your subject. Take your time and clean up the edges until you're happy with the selection. Once you're finished, make sure to hit freeze so the rotoscope doesn't recalculate every time you move the playhead. And one more important thing, press Ctrl-S to save your project. Now we can hop back into Premiere Pro. When I disable our base clip, you can see on the duplicated layer in Premiere that the rotoscope is now showing. To make things less confusing, it's always a good idea to rename your clips. I'll just name this one Rotoscope, or you can switch the label color if you prefer. Then I'll enable the base clip again, and that's our first step done. Alright, moving on. Now you'll need to prepare around 8 to 10 clips, each about 5 frames long, or you can use screenshots. Just make sure they're not longer than your base clip and the rotoscope layer, so the transition shows nicely. Next, take your rotoscope layer and move it all the way to the top. Then select your flashback clips and move them down one track. So now from bottom to top we have the base clip, the flashback clips, and we'll leave 2 tracks empty for effects, and finally the rotoscope layer on top. At this point you can clearly see the foundation of our entire effect, and now we're ready to move on to the main part. Now let's prepare our adjustment layer. It should be 6 frames long, and we can remove the rest. We'll start adding the effects gradually, so drag the adjustment layer to the middle of our first 2 clips. That way you'll have 3 frames to the left and 3 frames to the right. Then move the playhead right to the center of the adjustment layer. The first effect we'll add is directional blur. Stay in the middle of the adjustment layer and set the direction to 70. Then move to the start of the layer, toggle blur length, go back to the middle and set it to 50. Finally move to the end and set it back to 0. The next effect is alpha adjust. The only thing we need to do here is check ignore alpha. The third effect is lens distortion. At the start of the adjustment layer, set a keyframe for curvature at 0. Then in the middle, set it to -30, and at the end bring it back to 0. Last but not least, we'll add brightness and contrast. At the start of the adjustment layer, set keyframes for both. In the middle, change brightness to 50 and contrast to 25, and at the end, set both back to 0. Now, as you can see, we need to apply this effect to the other clips as well. I'll just zoom in a bit so we can see it better. What we'll do is duplicate the adjustment layer and place it in each gap between the individual clips. I'll show you exactly how it should look, so you'll end up with this. Now, when you play it back, you'll see this crazy flashback rotoscope effect in action. To finish it off, I'll add a shake effect from my Shake Cut preset pack. The link is in the description if you want to support me. Much better. That shake effect really gives it a ton of energy and makes the whole flashback feel way more dynamic. If you want your flashback clips to be black and white, like a memory, just click on the first clip and apply the black and white effect. Copy the effect, then select the remaining clips and simply paste it onto them. And that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on Monday.